Hello. I'm just going to give everyone 2 seconds. I know the one before me is just finishing up, so I'll give everyone just a second to join in. Started a little bit early, I think, so that's probably my bad. I hope it's working this time. Looks like it is. Hello, everyone. Hi. Just going to give everyone a second because I know the last live has just finished up, so I'm sure everyone's still watching that 2 seconds. We are going to be talking about dogs this time though, so much more relevant. More specifically, why people commonly use aversives with big dogs. Pad's time to shine. Yeah, Pad is fast asleep. I was really hoping that he was going to be able to join me on this live, but he went down for a nap like 20 minutes ago. So if he wakes up, then I'll bring him on, but I'm probably going to leave him sleeping because puppies need to sleep. Hello, hi everyone. I say we're just giving everyone 2 seconds to join because the last live has literally just finished up. Hi Ruby. Okay, right. So yeah, we are talking about why people commonly use aversives with big dogs. And before I start, I'm actually really keen to hear all your thoughts on why tool use is so prevalent in the big dog world. So I'd actually be really keen to hear all your thoughts on that topic. Hey, hi everyone. Yeah, obviously I have my thoughts, but I'm really keen to hear why all you guys think that tool use is so common in the dog world, so please let me know before I get into it. For those who've just joined, I was going to have my my boy joining me, but he fell asleep about 20 minutes ago, so if he wakes up then I'll go and get him, but if not I'm just going to leave him asleep. Okay, quite a few people. Wicked. Before I actually get into it though, I think it's important to let everyone know how I became a big dog person. I stumbled into big dogs pretty much by accident, really. My other half, he had a Barbel and a Neapolitan Mastiff before we met, and he always said if the time was right, he would get another one. Long story short, the time was right, we found a good breeder, puppies, blah blah blah. Paddy came home, yay! And obviously he was Paul's dog, and Paul did everything with him, but he somehow bonded with me. We don't know how, because I didn't really do anything with him. But he bonded with me, he became my dog, and suddenly I had a Barbel that I didn't really know what to do with. Obviously we say that Paul still knew what he was doing, so I wasn't completely on my own, I didn't just have a dog that I couldn't handle. But when we realised that he was absolutely my dog and there was no going back from that, he had eyes for me only, I immediately sort of got into I need to be the best trainer I can be for this dog. So I began talking to people and I did everything I possibly could, as a new puppy owner would, basically, to learn everything I could to be the best trainer I could be for my now dog, who I didn't expect to have. And that was when I ran into a lot of trouble, where so many people go, you've got to be the alpha, and you know, you have to show the dog who's boss all the time. They're a very dominant breed, and all this rubbish that just didn't align with my ethical stance at all. So I didn't really know what to do from there, because I thought, well, I've now got this dog, and Paul obviously was always there to help me. But Paddy was so much mine that there was literally nothing he could do training wise to help. So I found a few people, very luckily, who were into force retraining with large breeds, but it is a nightmare. Anyone who has a Mastiff type will know that big dog groups are not a fun place to be. They are horrific. It's just, there's a lot of answers coming in. Thanks guys, these are cool. There's a lot of aversive use. It's so heavily relied on with these dogs. I'm going to read a couple of your answers because they look really interesting. So if anyone who's just joined, I am talking about why people commonly use aversives with big dogs, and I've just asked for all your opinions on why they're so prevalent in the big dog world, just before I start. I think the attitude is big equals strong equals unmanageable equals aversives, pretty much, yeah. Oh, I hope you're enjoying the talk with Fahrenheit. We're actually talking about dogs this time, so much more relevant. Instant gratification culture, macho, US influencers, bite work, yeah. It's a man's world. I think it starts as management too and becomes a yeah, no, definitely. With wolf dogs, people think e-collars is the only way to train them in the UK and other countries. Yeah, wolf dogs seem like a very similar but kind of different to mastiff people in a horrible way. I think the fact that large breeds are physically powerful pushes people to aversives, definitely. Owner frustration tolerance, yeah. Hi, Caroline. I mean, I have a large collie, not a large breed, but big to people's standards. Yeah, he does look quite big. And the amount of comments I have that I'm a little woman and able to cope with him is scary. Ultimately, if you're a woman with a big dog, you will get sexist comments due to patriarchy. Yeah, so we're going to get into that because I have had some horrific things said to me about being a woman who owns a big dog. They are men's dogs, yeah, definitely. These are actually really good answers. So these are pretty much the same as what I found from these groups. I don't, my wolfies are force free. You are amazing and everyone loves you. Sorry, okay. So I found personally 2 main reasons why people lean towards using aversive with these dogs. And one is that, oh, we've got another one, hang on. We used to have a Great Dane. He was brilliant and a dream to walk on lead. However, we used to use a head collar. I think for my parents at the time, it was more the liability factor. Smaller dogs running up to him being reactive. Yeah, it's hard. So I suppose for them, rightly or wrongly, it was more about seeming in control. Yeah, it's a tough one in situations like that, definitely. But I think the first reason I found that people tend to use aversive with these dogs is that respect becomes more important than a relationship. And what I mean by that is that people believe these dogs should do something because they respect you and not because you have any form of relationship with them. So when you ask your dog to do anything, it should be because it has respect for you and not because it's going to get a reward out of it. Obviously, I know that's not how it works, but that's how people believe it does. And that, you know, that's really, it all sort of ties into this. It's not masculine to reward your dog. And whether this is going to be a bit controversial or not, but owning a giant dog is a man's game. Not everywhere, but in enough places that it's still heavily seen as a manly thing. I've literally been laughed out of a breed group because I asked for advice as a woman who owned one of these dogs. And we're going to get into some of the comments I've had, because I'm sure anyone here who has dogs like this, like Maya said, with a lovely collie pod, I love him so much, you get told that as a small woman, or as a woman in general, you can't do anything with these dogs because you're not a man. And it's for no other reason other than the fact that you're not a man. And I hate that. I really hate that. Since becoming a Mastiff owner, it has possibly been the worst part, is being told that if I don't stop feeding him treats and put a prong collar on him, he's going to cause an accident because I'm not a man. I don't know how that makes any sense, but whatever. And I think, oh, they are an amazing breed. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to your talk tomorrow, Greg, because obviously if you're here, you're force free. So it's going to be really interesting. Greg is giving a talk tomorrow on a similar topic, but in a slightly different area on giant breeds. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, watch it, I will be. Yeah, anyway, I think the problem is, you get a dog like this for a reason, and that reason is very rarely because you just want one. So you either have a big dog like this for status, because you want a protection dog, or for, and this one might get me a bit of stink, internet clout. You've all seen videos of men with a dog trying to maul someone to death going, how many fire emojis can I get on this video of my dog being protective? And as a dog trainer you go, that's not quite what's happening, but okay, I'm not going to chime in here because everyone's going to go, you're a woman, so you can't say anything anyway. There are a lot of comments, I'm just going to go through them, 2 seconds. It's so masculine to, yeah. So I'm so masculine to reward, you know, I'm a well-and treat dispenser. Yeah, I love being a treat dispenser, it's brilliant. I'm a small woman and I have a Rhodesian Ridgeback. I get looks from people and then they see how good she is with me and they don't have anything to say. Brilliant. Problem is, they still look at you funny and that should not happen. I get that all the time. I'm 5'1" and get comments all the time about our current bull breed dog. It's ridiculous, yeah. Oh yeah, the protective thing. You've all seen, like, I'm not sure, they go viral and they're videos of, like, I don't know, 10-week-old puppies trying to kill someone, and there's a difference between protective and aggressive. And I think if more people, especially in like the big dog world, knew the difference, it would be a very different place. I had a guy once at a sheepdog trial when Pod was small, say that he would rule my life if I didn't use slip leads, choke chains, etc. And I wasn't to speak to him without using a command. He's not allowed to walk through the gate first or on a sofa, etc. Oh yeah, all those stupid usual things. Pod was like 5 months old at the time, but he was already around 20 kilos. Basically, they insinuated I was inept, and I've never gone back to sheepdog trials since. It does, yeah, it keeps young people out of the sport. It really, like, discourages you. But I think for me that's a really big reason, is that because big dogs are still so heavily seen as like a manly dog, and a lot of people see it as like, if you're a big manly man, you can't reward your dog. You end up then, if you never reward your dog for anything, you have to punish them for everything, because dogs aren't born knowing what you want. And if you won't reward them for what you want, you've got to punish them for what you don't. And that's, unfortunately, that's just how it works. But the more people who are discouraged from keeping these dogs, who don't believe in using aversives because of the way those people treat you, the more it just continues. Yeah, and I think then the other reason is that the words we use to talk about these dogs, stubborn and dominant, are the go-to excuses, and I'm going to use the word excuses to justify the use of aversives, because they're not a reason, they're an excuse. These dogs are not stubborn and they're not dominant. I am such a big dog person looking for my next puppy and can't decide on the breed. Get them all. Don't do that. I mean, that's really bad advice, but yeah, so Ruby said, also, if you guys you reward your dog, guys, it will make a certain body part grow longer, promise. So what Ruby's insinuating is that, I don't know if I'm actually allowed to say that on a live video, but Ruby's being Ruby, typically, and insinuating that you're not going to have a small penis if you give your dogs treats. Yeah, 1 or 2 of everything. Yes, just get all the big dogs. All the big dogs would be amazing. Anyway, yeah, so stubborn and dominant. Your dog is not stubborn. Your dog is not dominant. You're using it as an excuse to justify your lack of skill, meaning you need to use these aversive tools on your dogs, and I will stand by that till the day I die. Brilliant. If you like, especially for barbels, I'm not like an expert on every breed of dog, so I have to, you know, go by what I know, which is barbels. But if you look on any website and ask what their temperament is like, you will find that every one of them says that they are a very dominant dog and they need a very assertive owner. And every single one, and I mean like the breed standard clubs, they're not registered with the Kennel Club in the UK, but in America they are. So the American Kennel Club says that they need a very assertive and experienced owner. And the problem is, when big bodies like that still use terms like this, it just reinforces the fact that you have to have this way of being around them. That's what are you saying? I'm looking, yeah, about 50 acres of land so I can. Wouldn't that be the dream? I would love a farm full of just big dogs. Even though I never could have imagined myself having one, I could not have one now. But yeah, so I think for me, I kind of got myself out of a lot of breed groups because it was doing a lot of damage to myself and how I believed I could have one of these dogs. Where some of the comments I've received, so like, I've been told I was asking for, so, you know, I'm going to say what the comment was first, and I'm then going to say why I received those comments, because they have absolutely no correlation. I was asking for advice on how to teach competition standard heel. I've never taught a dog a proper competition standard. Leaving breed specific groups is self-care. That needs to be a tag group. I've never taught a competition standard heel, but I really wanted to just have a go at it with Paddy because I thought it would be fun. No other reason, I just thought it would be cool. And it is, I'm really doing it. But someone said to me, if you were a man, you wouldn't need to ask that question. I was like, okay, are all men born knowing how to teach a dog a competition standard heel, or am I just being thick? There was another one where someone said to me, if you were a man, you wouldn't be having this problem. And the problem was, Paddy wouldn't, I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. I lost that one then. Tag group. Yeah, someone please make that a tag group. Some of these words used with big dogs, especially of certain breeds, drive me crazy. A dominant, stubborn. It's ridiculous, honestly. Breed groups are soul crushing. Yeah, they are horrible. I don't know why anyone thinks they're a good idea. Probably because men don't typically ask for help. Yeah, no, that's very true. It's kind of like I'm not saying like every man is like this, and obviously there are a lot out there who use force-free and everything. But these people that I've come across, a lot of them have really put me off. But anyway, yeah. So if you wouldn't be having this problem if you were a man, and literally those words were said to me if I was a man. Nothing I can really do about that. But if I was a man, I wouldn't be having this problem. It's because I couldn't get Paddy to I'm so sorry, I keep losing that word that I'm looking for. It was something really dumb. Anyway, it was so silly that it's like, well, I don't really know how. I mean, look at asking for it. Yeah. So we're not going to start slating men on my live stream, but those are valid points. Yeah, no, just generally some of the comments I've had where people have told me that my dog is going to cause a serious accident one day because I'm a woman and therefore can't control him. No matter what I do, I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense to me, but I thought, well, maybe I'm just missing something. Yeah. Yeah, no, Ruby's being a bit naughty again, going off on. We're not here to slate men, we're just saying a point that it is, owning big dogs generally does tend to lean more towards a manly thing. That's all we're going to say on the matter after this. So aware that there are stubborn humans, but are there really? Or is this a descriptive of human that similarly, need longer to process or is equally confused, etc.? We are talking about stubborn dogs. No dog is stubborn. I think there are stubborn people. I would consider myself a stubborn person. Where are we? Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with your comments, guys. I don't really want to miss any. Right, so for anyone who has just joined, we are not having a conversation hating men. We are actually having a conversation about why people commonly use aversive methods with big dogs, and it just so unfortunately happened that you may have joined at the wrong time. I have asked as well for your thoughts on why tool use is so prevalent in the big dog world, so I'm still really keen to hear all your thoughts and some more comments. I know so many force-free, empathetic and kind men. I also know some women that are aversive happy. Locally, a woman who owns American Bulldogs and insists they need prong collars and to be controlled at all times very tightly so they don't take over. It isn't just a man thing. Oh, absolutely not. There are definitely some women who are equally as bad, if not worse. And, you know, some of the best dog trainers I've ever met are men who work force-free, absolutely. But generally, the general consensus is that big dogs are a man thing. And as a woman, if you're a woman who uses force-free methods with a big dog, you will get laughed at. If you're a woman who uses aversive techniques with a big dog, you will be welcomed. And I think that's the real problem. I've only just joined, so probably missed what breed you have, but it's interesting that I have a Newf and haven't received these comments, maybe because they're fluffy and therefore less macho. I have a Barbel, a South African Mastiff, so that is actually really interesting that you haven't had any comments like that. I'm not really familiar with Newfoundland groups and things, although I love them, they are amazing. But that's actually really interesting if it's more like common towards protection dogs as opposed to big dogs in general. I think it has more to do with the culture as a whole, not just a masculine thing. No, definitely. We know not all men. Yeah, no. So this definitely was not meant to be a man-hating rampage, I promise. culture, education play a big part in people's attitudes? Absolutely. Yeah, 100% protection and bite sports. Yeah, no, they seem to be not just for like big dogs as well, but people who have any breed and they do protection and bite work. And again, not everyone. There are some amazing people doing stuff in that world. For sure, it's a lack of education, definitely. But then unfortunately a lot of it is when you try and educate people, they just don't want to hear it because what they do works, and the argument isn't that it doesn't work, it's how and why it works. We're seeing more and more force-free bite work, yes, and it is amazing. I'm really keen to get into bite work with Paddy, so knowing that there are force-free people out there doing it is amazing. Definitely isn't man-hating, it's grounded in truth. Research backs it up generally as we live in a patriarchal society. I can't speak today. No, that is true. Do you think there's a lack of trainer availability for large breeds because some of us would want to stay away from them? There's definitely a lot of stereotypes causing issues. I've experienced similar with GSDs. Yeah, so I suppose there would be. And especially because some of these breeds, and this isn't like a hating every trainer, I worked as a trainer and I'd never heard of these dogs until I met my partner. So I think there is a lack of availability for knowledgeable trainers in these breeds, and that does drive people then to the people who will just slap a prong collar on any dog and not really care which breed comes through their door because their methods work for everyone. But I can understand why some trainers will turn them away, but I do think there is possibly an opening then for people who are who work with them specifically to help people in a better way. Sorry, I took us down the rabbit hole, that's fine. I can't stay on topic to save my life anyway. I think how media portrays these breeds also plays a big part on this. Absolutely. You'll never see a well-trained one in the media, you'll always see the poorly trained ones that have killed someone. There's definitely aversive style handlers in the new breed groups, but haven't received any you should do this, etc. Directed at me specifically when anyone has seen me with my dog. I've actually started offering free help and advice in the group to try and steer people away from forceful training. You are amazing for doing that, definitely. I don't think I've only ever received one comment offline from someone who, I don't know why they decided to do it, but someone, when I was walking Paddy, they just went, I could handle your dog better than you, even though he was loose lead walking by my side and had paid them no attention. And I kind of didn't really know how to respond to that, but I was like, okay, whatever, cool. But other than that, it's all been online. So Tasha, I find with clients, a lot of their go-to advice with puppies comes from breeders. So puppies attending puppy class in chokers, etc. are because this was recommended by the breeder. Some owners just don't have access to the relevant information, so when we teach them, they learn about perfect fit, etc. Yeah, both sexes too, definitely. I think a lot of it definitely does come from breeders, but then again that comes from that cultural lack of education thing where these breeders have their dogs on choke chains and everything, and people just assume that that's the way to do it. But I love how you work with big dogs, Tasha. I know I've seen some pictures and it's really cool. Okay, how do you motivate a big dog which turns into a boulder as soon as something else is more interesting? Not a foodie, no toy drive. I mean, all dogs are food motivated. Find something that works. Unfortunately, that's an answer that anyone will give you, but it's very true. Mine went through a stage where he just would not do anything, and I went through every food that I could possibly think of and found the most reinforcing thing in the world for him, which, please no judgment, was chicken nuggets. Cooked chicken nuggets. He loved them cold. And he would do anything for a chicken nugget, and that became his really high value reward. I used that to build a toy drive with him, so now I have both should I need a toy drive for anything, but definitely there will be something that interests and motivates him. I mean, it really depends what he's trying to get into as well. Environmental reinforcement is still a thing, so if he only won't move if he gets to sniff something, we'll work it so, like, if mine really wants to sniff something, he's allowed to, but he's not allowed to drag me to get there. So if he offers a nice loose lead walk, I'll allow him to go and sniff the thing that he really wants to sniff. There's a responsibility for us a lot as trainers to drop the stereotypes for the dogs and the people, and these dogs as the individuals they are. They need a new narrative. They definitely do. Do we think one of the challenges helping owners understand the efficiency of reward-based training is that trainers using other methods are quite keen to show what their dogs can and can't do, but reward-based trainers tend to shy away from the limelight? Why do we think that is? What do we think we can do to promote what's achievable with the use of rewards? Well, I think it's kind of a circle, because I know I only once have I ever really wanted to say I'm really proud of this dog and this is what I've done with him, and that was when I got laughed out of the group, and it kind of really put a dampener on I don't want to share this anymore. Even though I'm really proud of what I've been able to do with this dog, I'm not too keen to get that kind of response again. Where rather than anyone going, this is really cool, how did you train it? They just went, I don't see a prong collar on your dog and you're going to ruin him, he's going to cause an accident. So for me, I think personally, you've got to have thick skin to be able to be in the limelight, especially as a force-free trainer. And it becomes difficult then when a lot of us don't have the confidence to be able to deal with the heat that comes with putting something out there. What do we think could be do to promote what's achievable? I don't know, I think that's a tough one, because I know, like, Ruby, for example, has really thick skin and she doesn't care and she will promote force-free everywhere, and I love her for that, and I think a lot of us do. And if we all had the confidence of Ruby, I think force-free trainers would be a little bit further, I suppose, ahead in terms of being able to show everyone what we do. But that's a tough one, because I think people are doing it, people are showing the efficiency of reward-based training, but yeah, it's take breeding advice from breeders and training advice from trainers, absolutely that. I am working on a new dog owners course now that I'm going to give breeders, shelters, rescues, etc., and hopefully I can catch the new owners early and teach them to train force from the start. That sounds amazing. Who doesn't love chicken nuggets? Yeah, no, that's a good point as well. We aren't trying to show off. Our training isn't flashy or exciting to the average person. It's why force-free training rarely gets on TV. If it's done well, it's really fucking boring to watch if you don't have the knowledge to know what's happening. That's very true as well. Yeah, I'm not sure it's that we shy away from the limelight. I think many of us are non-confrontational. It's why we train as we do, because it fits with many of our personalities. We also know that just because dogs can, it doesn't mean they want to. Many dogs don't want the limelight. Competition is for handler, not the dog. No, that's absolutely. And I don't even mean just like in a competition sense. I think even if you do something you're proud of with your dog, the second anyone knows you've done it force-free, like balance trainers will just, and again, you know, not everyone will just come and jump on you, and they'll always find something to criticise. You do so much better than me. No, Ruby, you do amazing. From what I've seen, even when you share videos in balanced training groups, positive, that word went, trainers like to pick it apart, find reasons to dismiss it. Yes. I don't really do too much on social media because I hate it, but I know there's been a lot, like on TikTok, where someone will post a video of R+ training and people will tag all their balance trainer friends to just try and pick it apart as much as they can. Yeah, force-free training for some things, for example, recall, can take months or even years sometimes, especially difficult during adolescence. Yes! People can't be asked a lot of the time to put the effort in and then find something to do it quick. No, that's definitely true as well. I think the problem is quick fixes reinforce people, so they tend to head towards them, and especially with these, you know, these big dogs, I fully understand that they are incredibly powerful. Better impulse control than me. No, I don't think it's impulse control, I think it's called anxiety, where I can't deal with confrontation, so I just don't. Where are we at? Ooh, someone wants to be in a video. Can I add someone to the video? I think I can. Let me approve that. I don't do Facebook Lives very often, so I apologise. Someone has requested to join, so I'm letting them join. It's apparently adding them. Most people also don't train a dog in front of them. Most of the time they generalise and don't tailor their training. Yes, I think that's a big thing, is a lot of people will go train a dog in front of you and then slap a prong on every dog they see. and it doesn't quite work that way. But they also believe that force-free training is literally just throwing cookies at dogs. So yes, same with loose lead walking. They pull when they're a pup and don't realise that one day they're going to be stronger, so just want a quick fix. In all honesty, I'm going to admit it here, I was really bad with that. Paddy never pulled as a puppy, but it wasn't because he hadn't been taught not to pull, it was because his gait just kind of fitted with mine, and he naturally offered a loose lead walk, but as he became bigger, his gait got longer, and me being useless hadn't trained him a loose lead walk and had to go through that with my 12-month-old adolescent 70-kilo dog. But we're good now, we're good. It's your bubble, you do with it what you want, as long as you and your dog enjoys to exist in it. Yes, definitely. Your bubbles don't start to split apart. Yeah, no, that's sounds funny. Is the sound back? I don't really know what that's about. Yeah, no, I think that's definitely true as well. As long as you and your dog enjoy what you're doing, then there's, you shouldn't have to feel like you need to share it with everyone. I find this a lot with puppies, talking about loose lead walking. A lot of behaviours are given a pass until it becomes a problem, and then they want an instant fix rather than putting in a little effort from the start consistently. Yeah, no, definitely, and I am, once again, I say I was guilty of that, but to be fair, Paddy picked up loose lead walking really quickly because chicken nuggets. Does it still sound weird, Ruby? Anyone else had comments based on the breed? For example, as a border collie owner, I've had comments that Pod must not need training because BC's border collies are so intelligent. Yes, I've had comments like this where, again, it comes down to that, like, people go, oh, he's being so protective, when their 10-week-old puppy is showing, like, severe aggression, and it's not really cool. Nothing, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Is the sound still weird? I don't know what that's about. Okay, what if I try and... I don't really know how Facebook works, so I do apologise for this. Is that any better? I don't really want to get too much closer to the camera because no one really needs to see that. Right, as long as the sound issue is still not being weird. I don't know about other people, but I really fancy a Mackey's now. I'm sorry about talking about chicken nuggets. We need to take it back in unicorn, yes. Right, haven't really tried to let the other person join the video. Okay, that's weird. And it hasn't fixed itself? Thank you for joining in. Your questions are really, really good questions. Yes, train a dog in front of you has become an excuse for aversives, absolutely, because some dogs or breeds require a heavy hand, apparently. Right. What else were we going to talk about? Ruby. So everyone wants McDonald's now, and that's my fault, and I'm really sorry. Because Paddy likes chicken nuggets. Human Labrador. Right. So I did have a couple of questions that I was very kindly asked before, just in case I didn't know what I was talking about on the actual live stream. And I think they are really good questions, so I am going to go into some of them. The first one was, did you struggle socialising Pad due to his size and other dog owners' perceptions of Mastiffs? I don't know if anyone else with a big dog has struggled with this, because people see them and immediately, a lot of people actually get quite scared of them. I didn't, but in all honesty, Paddy has only ever played with one dog that didn't belong to us, and that was a friend's dog. He's never played with another dog before. He doesn't really have any interest in them. So I didn't really have any issues with that. And as far as people go, obviously everyone loves to keep puppies, so he was all right. But again, he's not really too interested in people, so socialising him wasn't really an issue. And even now with the size he is, people, I suppose especially because COVID and all, people do tend to just avoid us anyway, which doesn't bother me. Paddy doesn't really care about other people anyway. What is the Mastiff temperament really like? Because actually a lot of people are misinformed on this, and I'm going to say it really depends heavily on the breed. I don't have experience with all Mastiff big dogs ever, so I can't really answer that very well. But I will say Barbels, for example, they should be confident and calm. They should have the element of they shouldn't be fearful, but they also shouldn't be too forward and aggressive. They're intelligent dogs and they really enjoy working with their people, so you need to do things with them. You can't just leave them on their own. But if you do, they will develop the worst habits. They are very bad for chewing. They like to use their jaws a lot. They'll get their jaws into everything. You know, they should be protected, isn't the word I'm looking for, but they should have that element to them. It's a genetic trait in them that should be managed. You know, being a little bit wary of strangers, being a bit aloof with strangers isn't seen as an issue, as long as it doesn't come out as aggression or reactivity. So I think the problem is that they shouldn't be aggressive messes, but people don't really know the difference. And that's why, as a breed, they're very prone to dog aggression, and they're very prone to aggression towards strangers with their own people, unless, you know, chances are that they're not going to display aggression. But with strangers, it's quite common because they are a protection breed, but it's very easy to work around. They're a guardy breed. I expect some of them to standoffishness. Yeah, no, definitely. But they shouldn't be aggressive with it. There should be, you know, being aloof isn't a problem, but going around attacking people for no reason is a very big issue. Do you think they're misrepresented? And I'm going to say absolutely, because again, it comes back to this: people post videos of them for like internet clout, and it's about how many comments they can get of people going, "Oh, that's a big dog, innit?" Instead of actually training their dog to not do things like that, and be a well-rounded dog that is content in their own situation. And then again, like was mentioned earlier, when it comes down to like the media, a lot of people, you don't see like the good stories of them, so you only see when something's gone really wrong, and that's part of the problem, because then people think all of them are like that. And again, we're going around in a circle where people then go, well, if that dog's like that, then I need to get one to be a status dog for me, and then more of them become like that, and you have this misrepresentation that they're all horrible aggressive dogs that you can't do anything with. So I think more media representation of a good breed standard dog is definitely needed. And the last one I had was, what advice would you give to someone considering getting a big dog? And I think never disrespect the potential power of the dog you have. I'm not trying to say this as a scare, but you have a weapon on the lead, and you need to respect that at all times. And not in a sense of like, I'm going to say you need to beat your dog up to get them to respect you or anything, but you can't forget that these dogs are capable of a lot of damage if something goes wrong, and you've always got to be aware of that at all times when you're with them. And it's your responsibility then as an owner and a trainer to make sure that dog is never either put in a situation where it can cause that damage, or not trained to a standard where it will just do that freely. Always make sure they're working with you because they want to, not because they have to. That's for me, that's a big one, because if you fight against these dogs, you're going to lose. They're bigger than you, they're stronger than you, and they're a lot more powerful than you. And realistically, they're more intelligent than you are. I'm going to go out and say it on a whim. Maybe that's just me. Maybe Paddy's just more smart than I am, because I'm a bit silly. But I wouldn't put myself against him in terms of intelligence. I'm well aware he's bigger than me. I'm quite a small person. I'm well aware he has the potential to do a lot of damage, but he works with me because he wants to, and that's key, I think, where he doesn't feel he has to rely on those instincts, because he's never put in a situation where he needs them. And the last bit of advice I'd give to anyone who wants a big dog is to buy a bigger sofa, because you will need one, because they will hog it and you'll have to sit on the floor a lot. Did Pad come from a force-free breeder? If not, do you think seeing you work with Pad will have a positive influence on their own training and rearing of the breed? So Paddy was a one-off lifter. It wasn't a breeder as such, but the dogs were obviously all they were all tested. They were registered with the South African Barbel stud book as well. But they were he was from a one-off litter. They weren't force-free, but they weren't like aversive either. They just kind of had dogs. They have asked me for advice before though on the dog who was having trouble pulling on his lead, and the litter was big. There was like 16 of them, but he came to me, so I was actually quite proud that I was the one that they came to for advice. Obviously gave advice all for free then, and yeah, so we do keep in contact with his breeder as well, who I know has had success with his dog now. Do you think seeing a what with Pad will have a positive influence on the road training and rearing of the breed? Don't, like I say, them as a breeder, no, because they only had a one-off litter. But I don't know. I don't. What's it? I'm not trying to be big-headed because I know that I'm not the best trainer in the world, but you know, I do hope that sort of by we are showing people that it is possible, that if anyone ever has any questions, they're obviously always more than welcome to come and talk to me about it. Bigger couch, bigger bed, yeah. So bigger car is a big one. We had to get Paddy to the vet recently, and we have a two-door car, and that was really fun. Not really, but we spoke to the vet and we said there was no way we could get someone to come to the house. Obviously, we know with COVID and all, but we have to try and get the dog in the car, and that was a bit of a mess. We got him in, but yeah, we definitely need a bigger car. Bigger appetite, yes, bigger appetite. So Paddy eats 3 kilos of food a day, which is a lot of food, plus treats on top. And he's one dog. He's only a puppy as well, so he's only 13 months old. That's a lot of food. Heaven equals 16 adorable puppies. Yeah. So it sounded like a lot of fun, but their poor mother, when we saw her, she wasn't looking too good, bless her, because she'd had to deal with them all. They did obviously leave her to have her own space and stuff at times, but the puppies were a lot. I missed it. What breed is your dog? He's a Barbel. He's a South African Mastiff. He is 13 months old and he weighs 78 kilos. When he stands on his back legs, he's the same height as me and 5'7". So he is a big boy. He will be growing for at least another year and a half. And so he's going to be large. Also have someone like, smother with love from 16 Barbel puppies. What a way to go. Absolutely. So everyone always jokes to me and they say, if death by Pad, Padford is my dog's name, is the way to go, then that's fine by me. And I always say it like this: it's on the sofa, and they'll just come and squash you. We lived in a terrace house when we had our Great Dane, and he used to sleep on our parents' bed. Yeah, we don't let Paddy on the bed. I don't mind dogs on the bed, but we kind of thought we don't really want to get him in that habit because he'll just take up the entire thing and we'll have nowhere to sleep. So sofa, it's fine, but also Paddy doesn't go upstairs because he can't figure out how to get back down the stairs, and we don't want him to fall. Sign me up. Yeah, 16 Barbel puppies. So unfortunately we didn't get to meet all of Paddy's siblings because some of them had gone home by the time we got to meet him. Because of COVID regulations, we could only meet him once, which was a bit of a shame. But I keep in touch with some of his siblings as well. So I'm just trying to, like I said, I don't want to miss any of your comments. So I'm just trying to go through them. Someone needs to make double king size beds. Absolutely, that would be amazing. I hear if you buy 2 queens and push them together, it is bigger than a king. Just saying. Yeah. So unfortunately, we don't really have a room for a bed that big, which is part of the problem. But yeah, no, I would absolutely love if Paddy was able to come on the bed. But like I say, a big part of that problem is that he can't get himself back down the stairs. He doesn't really know how. But yeah, I love having sofa cuddles with him. We do need a bigger sofa though, because he takes all the room. And then our poor other 2 dogs don't really get anywhere. Bigger house, yeah, I know. With the lizard as well, he takes up a lot of room. Hopefully we'll be moving soon though. So I always say bigger house, and we go, oh, so we'd have more space, and all I hear is, so more dogs. And Paul is always like, are you mental? Are you okay? And not really. I just want more puppies. I would say sorry. I just don't want to miss any of your comments. I will obviously be if you're watching this on replay, I will be checking comments and things. So I'll share more tomorrow, but me and my 80-kilo dog used to sleep on a 2 foot by 6 foot caravan bed. That's impressive. I've got to ask, what breed you have? We work hard to buy a big house for our big dogs. Absolutely. Bigger houses in the UK isn't asked though, unless you're made of money. Yes, that's the problem we're having, is finding somewhere to move that has space for all the animals. I like they're fine, I mean, but they do take up a lot of space. They also eat all our money, so we don't really have a lot of it spare. Yeah, I'm really like, he was a Great Dane. That is amazing. That sounds like a fun breed of dog to own. 80 kilos. I always say that's a big dog, and I look at Paddy and I go, he's going to be over 80 kilos pretty soon. Yeah, sorry, what was I saying? So if you're watching this on replay, obviously I will be checking back. If you have any questions, please do ask, and I'm sure there's a lot of big dog people on this thread, so any of them will be happy to answer. But there's been some good discussion on this. Thank you everyone for answering my question at the start. It's always like interesting to know what other people's thoughts are and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna wind down anyway. I can't hear that Paddy's woken up. Is there a reason why you chose a giant breed? Yeah, so I didn't. I never really thought I would have a giant dog. I've always liked them. I've always seen them and sort of thought they're really cool, but I never thought I would. Paul ended up with one. He worked as a dog trainer for quite a while, and someone couldn't keep. Yeah, he chose it. Yeah, someone couldn't keep his Mastiff anymore, so Paul took him on, fell in love with them, and always said he'd have another one. But then when we got Paddy was supposed to be Paul's dog, but Paddy chose me, so Paddy became my dog, and now I'm a big dog person. It was completely unintentional. Yeah, he definitely did choose me. He has eyes for me and no one else. Like, I feel really bad, but I swear he would walk past Paul dying on the floor to have a cuddle off me. He really doesn't care about anyone else. Thank you for joining in. It's really, I do love hearing other people's thoughts. It's a topic I'm really keen on, but not nearly an expert on. So when Ruby said, would you mind talking about this, I was really nervous that I was just going to mess it up, really. Right, I think I've responded to everyone, but like I say, I do apologise if I'm missing one. I will check back through the comments and just make sure. Are larger dogs more prone to health problems? Very breed dependent. Barbers, no. Hip problems, elbow problems are quite common, but that's just due to poor breeding, really. But I suppose it's like with all small dogs, and small dogs can be prone to health issues. I think it really depends on the breed. Barbers are definitely the most agile. I'd probably wager on being the most healthy Mastiff type breed. They're not Mastiff, but yeah, no, it's very. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give a horrible answer. It really depends on the actual breed. They don't all choose us. All my dogs have chosen me. Yeah, he definitely chose me. It was weird. It's like he was the runt of the litter. He was the last one left, but yeah, we fell in love with him anyway, my little red collar pup. And right from day one, he had eyes for me and no one else, even though I never really did much with him because he was supposed to be Paul's dog. Yeah, so please, if you do have more questions, like I say, if you're watching on replay or something, please just, and I'll get back to you, everyone. I don't really want to miss everyone, but if I have missed anyone, I'm really sorry. I've been trying to keep up. It doesn't matter how big the bed, you won't have any space anyway. Yeah. I can. Can I post a picture while I'm like doing live? I don't know if I can do that. No, I don't think I can. But I will definitely put a picture of him in the comments as soon as I get off this. Sometimes it just happens I do everything for my dogs, but one of them was my husband, yeah. So Paul sat with him on the sofa for 2 weeks when we first got him while I enjoyed the bed to myself, and he still ended up loving me more, so that's a bit of a sore topic in this house. Obviously it's only a joke, he doesn't really mind, but yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna try and wrap this up now. Thank you everyone for joining, and it's been a great discussion. I do love hearing all your thoughts, as yeah, and I do pretty sure that's everyone I replied to. I will put a picture of Patty in the comments as soon as I get off this. That's so true, because they just keep stretching and pushing us to the edge. Yes, you will never ever have any space on anything, no matter how big you buy it, if you have a Mastiff or big dog in general. Right, thank you guys, and like I say again, if you're watching on replay and have any comments, please just let me know, and I will reply to everyone. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of these speakers for today. And like I say, Greg is giving a speech tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it's at 8 a.m. Correct me if I'm wrong. 8 a.m. tomorrow, which is going to be really interesting. So definitely check into that. Right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Lots of people lined up. Thank you all for joining in again. It's been really fun. And thank you, Ruby, for inviting me to speak, because I was really nervous, but you've all been amazing, so I appreciate it. Bye!